When the mercury soars beyond 120 degrees, the metal of man burns through. As record heat melts contenders, the grit of some shines for all to see. Who has what it takes to overcome the elements and top-level competition? Killian, Carroll, Daniel Cordova, David Fink, and Shorty Ruiz lead an all-star-studded group in search of glory. Now we find out on WPH Live.tv with Patron as legends of the game compete for cash and the right to claim the King of the Desert. Icebreaker 11 from Clark Park in Tucson, Arizona starts right now. Welcome back to Tucson, Arizona. My name is Dave Vincent. We have Dave Fink off to the right here as the big, much anticipated finals between Killian, Carroll, and Daniel Cordova on this show court at Clark Park for the big show today, Dave. Both players played out of their minds during portions of their tournament yesterday. Here on a Sunday, though, we'll find out which one wants it more, Killian Carroll and Daniel Cordova. Killian warming up like he does with that jump rope, and then Daniel in there just stroking the ball, just getting ready, getting to the frame of mind. Here's that bracket. Killian Carroll, the number 1 seed, held true all the way to the final here, and Daniel Cordova having a couple big wins. He beat the number 3 seed in Abraham Montijo, went past Shorty Ruiz, the number 2 seed, and now is trying to defeat our number 1.
Daniel Cordova became the first player in Icebreaker history to face match point and come back and win.
Okay, this is the Icebreaker number 11. Daniel Cordova from Juarez, Mexico, serving. Versus Killian Carroll living in Boston from Ireland.
That's Sean Linning giving the announcement.
2 games to normal, 15. Tiebreaker to 15. 0-0.
And you have to win by 2. Nice to have Sean Linning, our current, arguably best player on the planet when it comes to 3-wall, reffing this match.
Point.
And we've seen this from Killian, not just in 3-wall, but 4-wall. Starts off rallying, looks to spar, and then he sort of turns up the heat
1-0.
as you get more into the match.
Oh, look at that ball straighten out. That's unbelievable. Let's look at the replay from the drone. Look how impressive this is. Look at this technology we've got. Little tracer showing you exactly how the ball hit the ground and then doesn't continue that straight line that it's on. It hops back in and sticks out the wall. No screen. And that's the first real big mistake that we've seen here.
And if you try and blast the ball off the front wall without using the ceiling or the side walls, if you catch it any more than 10 feet high, it's probably going to be
0-2.
considerably out.
Point.
You could hear a pin drop out here, Dave.
That's really
1-2.
quiet.
Killian has shown that he is not afraid to throw himself head first onto the cement.
Smart shot from Daniel. No way that's going back. And it does make it. Oh, Killian was there. That's how athletic this guy is. Unbelievable, Dave. If he wouldn't have gone back to the middle of the court, he would have gotten that ball if he went straight back in. Another reverse from Cordova. Another hand air from Killian Carroll.
5-1.
Nice start here from Daniel. He's not winning easy points here. He's having to hit a lot of balls, but he is up 5-1.
Nice start.
6-1 now.
Second ace. This one goes the other way. So we saw the tracker on the first ball. The ball turned in. That ball went away from Killian to his right.
Daniel, who makes a living so far in this tournament of hitting that ceiling, just missed it.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with how well Daniel's able to play the ceiling. You'd have to say he's one of the top 2 or 3 ceiling ball artists in the game out here.
Yeah, after watching his performance this weekend. Score here is 6-2. Daniel Cordova leading, but Daniel's finding himself running around a little bit more now as Killian kind of working his way back into it here. Killian had a really tough match yesterday in the semifinals when he faced you. Actually, the final of that upper bracket, defeating you in that final. I'm sure he has to be a little bit sore, but that's why he came out here early and was jumping rope and getting ready.
I doubt he was sore.
Well, he's got all these cut marks on his body from diving on the cement. I'm sure he's sore in different ways, not necessarily muscle sore, but I know you don't dive, but out here on this ground, it's pretty brutal.
That's true.
Battle scars.
Yeah. Killian seems to start matches with his left-handed serve. Now we're just guessing here because Killian's not going to give away his strategy. But Dave, maybe it's that kind of change of pace and change of angle that he likes to employ. Start with the left and then move to the right-handed serve.
Yeah, that's a good point. It might be a perspective thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you serve left-handed, you get a perspective of looking back at your opponent differently than you do when you're on the right side, and it might just be the way he wants to strike or the way he wants to attack the next shot. And then when he gets more aggressive, he switches around the other way. It's certainly different, Dave, because you don't see any other players doing it.
And when you're playing him, it does throw you off because now all of a sudden he's serving right-handed. And generally by the middle of a match, you're starting to get into the rhythm of returning the serve. You've seen it enough, but now you're seeing a completely different serve.
Danny scraped that wall so hard that he pulled the paint off. That was a big flake of paint over there. That's how close your hand has to be to the side wall, that you're scraping paint. That ball was long, and yes, it was. But see, it's sort of like Dave Chapman's going to the lob serve is Killian's turning around serving left-handed. It's kind of his version of what Dave Chapman did. I'm not saying the result, right. Clearly Killian's going for kill shots and aces and
look at this shot.
Is able to hop the ball. There he goes with the Irish whip, but
that's like a golf swing.
Well, what's more impressive is that he learned to do that after he was already number one. I mean, it's something that's new. He said he never learned it when he was in Ireland.
Well, I think someone like Killian needs not only the challenge of continuing to win tournaments, but also to develop new aspects in shots to keep himself engaged.
We're all together at 6 in game number 1. That's the party ball there.
Not a good rally there from Killian. He had a big setup, mishit it, and then he makes an error on the next ball. If you can return with a fist in 3-wall, you should, because it's a much harder ball to fly kill. Comes off the front wall with that down spin, which is going to cause a lot of errors, especially when you try and fly kill it.
Screen? Dave, that really should be an avoidable. I mean, if it makes your opponent stop play.
Well, it kind of begs the question, should all avoidables or should all hinders be avoidables?
Well, that one we're stopping play for just because the player couldn't see it, because their opponent didn't have to move like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, clearly moved in front of him, and then he had to stop because he couldn't see it.
Well, that's my question.
That's an avoidable.
Are all hinders avoidables then?
I don't think all of them, but I think that one was.
I think if you made them all avoidables, you wouldn't see any.
Or you'd see a whole bunch.
I think you'd find a way to never be in the way. That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't see any of this crossing in front and all this other.
Well, that crossing in front should have been a point for Killian. When I play, I never want any call to be made. I don't like avoidable. I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like the screens. I think when a player takes advantage of the rule, then that's when it kind of upsets me. But
in a lot of times, they're putting themselves in a worse position by crossing it.
Yeah, it's like you get into these 20-shot rallies that we're seeing right here, and the player's slightly in your way, and you have your first chance to put them away because they flank themselves. That's way out. But they flank themselves, they put themselves in a bad position. All you have to do is hit a ball down the wall now, and the referee takes it away by stopping the play. And that's what I don't like. Actually, I don't like it when the other player goes along with it.
I wouldn't say either guy is as sharp as he'd like to be thus far. But not giving each other a lot of opportunities either. These are two of the quickest guys on the tour. I mean, Killian is in permanent lockdown mode, and Daniel has the ability to really shrink the court. Great explosive first step.
They play that over or give the...
I thought it was called over. I didn't think it should have been.
I thought it was. And that's coming from a guy that said, I don't stop play off of anything.
Yeah, I didn't think it should have been. I thought it was down the left and hopped away.
Well, they definitely hopped away. I don't know if Killian even saw the hop, though. That's kind of the problem when you ref your own.
I think our ref is calling everything right now.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I think that's what's happening here. This is one of the first Icebreaker matches we've seen since the first one, where we saw 24 foot faults called in one match that we've actually had a ref calling. Well, we have a lot to thank that ref for. There will be no more reffing going forward.
Look at that shot.
Beautiful. There's no better feeling than sending your opponent not only way back behind the back line, but onto the other court.
Yeah, there's a good feeling about that. I wouldn't know, but I mean, I'm assuming that it's a good feeling. 5'7", Boston, Massachusetts, originally from Ireland. His biggest win, he says, is the 2018 World Championship, and that's, I guess, what I would say too if I were him. I mean, you can't get much higher than that.
Well, in fairness, he didn't say that.
Oh, we're saying it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought this is something that they choose.
Yeah.
I mean, he clearly... Are we also saying that his favorite athlete is Roger Federer?
He has that choice. You get
Serena
one choice
Williams,
on this page.
Serena. Is Coco his favorite? I mean, who filled it out?
You are allowed one answer on that page.
Last year's pickleball champion.
Yeah.
Look at that serve.
Daniel moved in close to the backline there. I'm noticing a difference in return position from Daniel. Yesterday he was returning from a foot to 2 feet behind the backline. Now look at him standing on the backline.
Yeah, but look at those serves. I mean, that might have been the best serve I've ever seen in my life right there.
Well, Daniel's making that ace possible by standing on the backline like this. And I know Daniel's coach, who's our referee, has advised him to stand on the backline.
But Carroll's been known to do that sneaky over the short line.
Well, that's why I think he's been advised to stand there, but it's hurting him on these deeper serves. He's not used to standing there.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Now, if I was Shorty Ruiz yesterday playing Daniel, I would have snuck in a bunch of short serves over the short line with Daniel a foot behind the back line, but he didn't. And that's why Daniel was able to handle Shorty's serve.
Well, he tried to, but he...
Not too many short attempts, though, from Shorty.
Two of them, but I think they're both in the first game. It wasn't enough to get it into Daniel's mind, and there's a nice little paddle underhand kill, and here's the replay of that.
This really impressed me about Killian, playing him in 3 the consistency with which he's able to make those paddle fly kills I didn't expect. And just as I say that, he dips one in, but...
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Now,
incredibly accurate and efficient with those paddle kills with both hands. Did not think that he'd have the ability to make those as frequently, and that's a great ace serve there from Daniel.
9-12.
Wow. You don't see too many 42-foot kills in 3 particularly not against Killian Carroll, who was about 15 feet in front of him. What a great shot. Gosh, what a rally.
The crowd
one of the
loves
longest rallies of the tournament right there. Incredible.
Daniel took it just before you.
Oh, yeah. That is actually pretty funny. I don't know if you caught that here, but...
I did.
Both of them took the timeout at the same time.
Thought Killian was going to get this. That's going to leave another battle scar, most likely.
Yeah, I think he's got a couple of those. Daniel Cordova coming in from El Paso, Texas. San Angel Athletic Club, and his highest ranking, number 2.
How much do you think that even temperament helps Daniel?
I think it does. Then again, sometimes when you're upset, it can motivate you.
I don't know. I think it serves him very well.
Oh, I think it serves him perfectly. But
and his brother. Both are very evenly tempered.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps him. I don't think it helps a guy like Marcos Chavez. He didn't play better when he was evenly tempered. He played better when he was, out of his mind.
Mm-hmm. I have received word that Marcos has retired.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. It's a big loss for the tour. Unquestionable.
Yeah, he was sort of the mascot of the tour.
I'd say.
And one hell of a player, too.
Right.
So in the top 8 and the mascot. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Kind of a glue kind of guy.
Yeah, it's frustrating to see him go.
Yeah.
I got a nice letter from his wife. I don't know if you did.
No, did not.
She sent me
Wow.
a very long letter talking about the decision. It was pretty special, actually. I don't think I've ever gotten a letter from somebody's wife.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I have, but
I didn't want to go there.
not, about retirement or talking about their husband's play or whatever.
Yeah.
Usually talk about their husband, but no.
13-14.
Not them retiring from the tour. I mean, you don't have the wife of the mascot contacting you.
Right.
We're all together at 14 here now.
Now remember, Killian was down here game point. And we've seen this in his previous Icebreaker starts. He was down game point in all 3 of his games
14,
at the first Icebreaker in which he competed. Now he's tied at 14. We're in overtime.
Nice return there. Daniel hitting it much harder now. Oh my, Dave. Can you believe that?
No.
Killian dives in.
I can't.
That actually hurts from here.
I can't believe that shot.
Look at this.
15-14.
Oh, and he slides in on that as well. 15-14 is the call here. This is game point. Okay, this is where he's been so effective, and he gets the point. 16-14 in overtime. Killian Carroll, and there's the battle scars. Killian Carroll takes down Daniel Cordova. Nice little comeback for Killian. It wasn't one of those monster ones, but it was enough.
Well,
Especially
Emmett Pashot calls that Killian's positive feedback loop. I don't know if that's something from philosophy or not, but when he gets down, he's able to just step it up just enough where you can't do anything. And Emmett knows firsthand. He was beating Killian 14-1 in the tiebreaker in New Orleans and lost that game. Or no, 13-0.
right.
And he's done this to many people.
On the right-hand side of the door here. You take your time while you serve and stay on the sun. Get it ready.
0-0.
Just taking a break here, listening to these guys banter as we go into game number 2. Both even temperament. You get 2 of those guys on the same court together, and they're too complimentary of each other. They have these friendly conversations about their strategy against each other.
Well, I think that's the fun of playing high-level sports is...
You can relate to somebody, they can relate to you.
Yes.
Sort of like the only time that you're not alone in the room.
Yeah. There's not many people that can relate to what these guys are doing right now. And I see the messages on Facebook and whatnot, but unless you're able to play at this level, I just don't know that you can fully appreciate what's happening.
Maybe got now. No, I said if we go with Daniel would have done
3-0.
Great camera angles there.
That was beautiful handball there from Killian. You might have thought that was a screen serve, but every player is going to take that in 3-ball, and then great footwork to set up that fly kill. And this is where you have to be really concerned if you're Daniel. Killian won the last 4 points of that first game. Now he's got the first 5 points here. So 9 points in a row, and you can sense kind of a difference in what Killian's doing. He's being the aggressor.
Yeah.
He's not giving Daniel any opportunities. 10 points in a row now. And yesterday he ended the match with me, Dave, with 12 points in a row. And didn't even give up a side out during that stretch.
He tracks that down. Are you kidding me? Unable to run and dive in.
So it
that.
seems more, unlikely when you end a game with 12 in a row. But here he is having 10 in a row. Just about the same thing.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. You saw earlier that gentleman in the stands that was wincing is Luis Cordova Sr. That's Daniel's father.
Right.
You saw when Killian scored that 6 point, he made that face like, yeah, you're digging yourself into a hole here.
Yeah, Daniel listed one of his greatest victories as Portland. That was that December event that we held just before New Year's, where he defeated Killian Carroll in the final there.
Oh, yeah. That was
in the fishbowl court.
He played so good there against Killian. Look at this kill shot, though. Hits it right down the wall, right where he's supposed to hit it. 8-0. And then it's just Killian Carroll flipping the switch.
See, this is the positive feedback loop. He gets down, and it's not like he's not trying already, but something changes. It's more so that he is deciding, I'm not going to give you any chance to score. I'm going to put every ball in a spot where you can't even think about playing offense.
Like he's hyper-focused.
Right.
This one he hits off the court.
But it's basically saying, I'm not going to make any errors, and I'm not going to give you any chance to score.
Second serve.
So it's 13 points in a row now for Killian, dating back to last game, where he needed those last 4 to win the game because he was down 14-12. And Daniel just kisses the ceiling there, just barely before the front wall. And that's generally the best shot. That's the one that's going to carry out the farthest. Finally ends this scoring streak of Killian with a great ace, and he sold that one nicely. It looked like he was going to the left. And if you can hit an ace with Killian 5 feet away from the ball, really fooled him and hit a great serve. Oh, what a shot. That time, Dave, he hits the perfect angle.
Look at the scoreboard. 2-9.
Now, Killian could conceivably win all 3 titles, 1-wall, 3-wall, and 4-wall in the same year.
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, in 1-wall, he made the semifinals.
I'm surprised that he didn't win it.
I'm surprised, too. I didn't see the match, and I don't know the player that beat him, but I was shocked. Now, he's proven he can beat everyone in 3-wall, and he's obviously the best player in 4-wall. So he's the guy that could do what only Vic Hershkowitz has done.
He's also the guy that would know that Vic Hershkowitz did that.
Well, he follows his Sunday stats.
No screen called on that. There's Killian Carroll. He's our number 1.
Look at the footwork. Never on his heels. Look at this. It's like he's just carrying over from his jumping rope that he does before the match. And if you really want to become a great player, you just watch these great players' feet. Don't even watch the ball.
9-2.
You'll never see an amateur player moving their feet like that.
That's a good shot right there.
But look what Daniel has to do to
Right.
win a point here. He's 52 feet away.
2-9.
Jeez, that's an unbelievable shot.
But that's one of those shots, you just feel it.
That's true. He doesn't make it.
3-9. Short.
Killian Carroll wins game number 1.
Daniel calls that one short. A lot of these balls, Dave, will leave a little mark when you hit them just short or just long.
A lot of power right here.
And you can see Killian swinging much faster,
And
loading up much more with his legs now than he did early in that first game.
And that's with that bad right shoulder of his. And you can see he's turned around served right-handed also. I mean, it's been a while now that he's done it, but...
Killian's pushing you side to side with power.
And keeping you off balance.
Right.
Because you
Off
see on that
balance.
last shot,
Yeah.
Danny not only had to run side to side, but also had to hit a ball in a very weird position up high. And there's a perfect ace serve.
Timeout.
And this is what Killian does to you. He just kills you with those shots like that. After going side to side multiple times, and then backwards and then up front,
11-3.
he then makes you believe he's going to hit that cracked serve, and he goes right on the deep line with one of the best serves of the tournament.
Second.
He calls that one short on himself. It almost looked like it was good. Inside out. Have you ever seen a serve like that? Dave, this is incredible. Daniel's looking over there, and he inside outs it, and it just sticks on the wall. How do you do that?
That was a second serve also.
That was a tricky serve. You only pull that one out late. Oh, my.
And this is that kind of front court. That was a modified paddle sidearm swing.
That ball just loses all of its speed. Here it is. Match point for Killian Carroll.
Killian had multiple chances to win the title right there.
3-4.
But Daniel get back in here to serve.
Daniel immediately said replay. Killian said no.
Not many people are going to take a replay after they missed the shot. Killian now with match point number 2. Now, Killian did not face match point in the semifinals, but he was down 12-3 in the tiebreaker.
14-3.
Daniel did face match point in his semifinal and came back and won. So both these guys making big comebacks in the tiebreaker yesterday to be here in the final.
And there it is. Championship going to Killian Carroll, who defeats Daniel Cordova on this show court. Killian winning in 2. A real close first game. Had you on the edge of the seat. Hopefully we can get a word here from Killy. You see the scoreboard, 16-14 and then 15-3. Killian Carroll wins the second Icebreaker title of his out of a few that we've held. In fact, we've had 11. Now, he couldn't play in all of those, but he's won the ones that he has played in. Hopefully we can get a word from Killian Carroll as the WPH Icebreaker Challenge final concludes here on a Sunday in Tucson, Arizona at Clark Park.
It was brutal. I think it was just a bit too hot. Yesterday, definitely, when I was playing David Fink in the semi-final, and the shade comes off the court, like it's later in the day, maybe around 12 o'clock. You just know where to hide from the sun, beating on your back, and your head's pounding just from the heat and exhaustion and dehydration. So, I mean, it's a first for me, and it was, not gonna lie, terrible to play in. I actually don't think I would have been able to play yesterday after that semi-final to play Daniel later on in the day, just because, I mean, it took a long time for my hydration levels even to get back to normal. You know, I was very lethargic, very weak, and my body felt fine, wasn't sore at all, just complete dehydration. I think Daniel played better yesterday. His best shot, really, apart from his serve, is definitely the ceiling and driving the ball, driving you way back out of the court and kind of like taking the front court and control. I feel like maybe he didn't do it as much as he should have. I don't really know if he was not as fresh today or, not feeling it. But, I mean, I felt good to play him, but I really feel I didn't play the best Daniel today. Not like he was playing shorty yesterday and they had a lot of great ceiling rallies. I really want to keep playing outdoor because, as far as learning different things in handball, this is like a huge learning curve for me. You got to create all these different shots at different angles and different heights, and it's a whole different strategy, and you're playing people that know how to play the game very well, the likes of Shorty and Sean Lenning, who've been playing the game for years, and their game is more suitable to the outdoor 3-wall. So, it's a lot of fun, and I really want to keep playing and learning a lot more 3-wall and trying to get better court positioning and you know, better shots that are more suited to the 3-wall, like that ceiling game, and also trying to keep my kills down. I find my kill shots in the 3-wall are definitely a lot harder to keep down than in the 4-wall. I like these courts a lot. You know, I mean, you got 5 great courts, great atmosphere, and it's just great to get wins out here, because any win is a bonus, but I feel like I have a lot to learn, and I have a lot to do coming up to the Nationals this year. Diving on the surface is very unforgiving. I don't think it's a good idea, but it's just a habit that's ingrained. I see a ball that's in front of me, and you know, I think I'm still in the 4-wall court, and I think, you know, it's okay, I can get it. And especially when rallies are tight, I just completely lose all control of myself and naturally just dive on the floor. But I feel like I need to do a bit more training on trying to just run forward and stay low and kind of drive the ball underhand, which is also a good shot, but I haven't been very good at it just because I've been, you know, relying on diving so much. But it's definitely not a good idea anyway, definitely not a good idea. Toledo is definitely a long-term goal. I mean, there's still a lot to do in the summer. So the 2 big things that are coming up before then is the 1-wall small ball nationals, which I've been playing. You know, I did get to play it last year, the unofficial small ball nationals, and so this will be my 4th time playing it. I've been trying to get better every year and trying to get to play the New Yorkers that are very good at it. So that's coming up in August. And then before that, there's a 3-wall tournament in Manchester, Connecticut. That's just a local tournament. That's going to be a doubles. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to play with a local guy. And yeah, but in between the nationals and all them tournaments, it's just going to be training. You know, I need to get back on the training wagon, because they've just announced the nationals to be held, the 4-wall nationals to be held in Nashville in December. So, you know, have my fun creating new experiences outdoors, and you know, getting new shots, and you know, in the outdoor game. But you know, also I need to spend more time doing physical training and you know, getting fitter and stronger also during the summer, just to prepare for the 4-wall nationals in December.